Last month, he called me crying, saying they had sent a strange email, saying they understood his decision and that his spot would be given to someone else. He had tried to email them, but they simply did not respond. I found this very strange and I decided I would investigate thoroughly, contacting some friends who got in touch with other friends. They gave me the number of one of the college directors and informed him of my situation. Talking to the director, he told me that my son and I had called them to deny the spot. And that's why they had sent that reply. I said my son would never do that and explained that it was his dream college. He said the spot had already been reassigned to another student and he said the name. And to our surprise, it was the same name as my son's classmate. I asked them to send me the recording of the supposed call. And of course, the one speaking on the call was my son's classmate. And surprisingly, his parents too, pretending to be me and my wife. They even went as far as to take my documents and my son's to impersonate us. As the director said, he asked for a photo of these documents to confirm the cancellation of the spot. I explained the whole situation to him and he said my son's classmate was in a position below my son, who was in last place. And that's why, by canceling his spot, the classmate moved up to my son's position and managed to get into college. The director will open an investigation to see what can be done, but honestly, at this point, my son will most likely not be able to recover the spot. So I decided to at least do the minimum. I know I probably won't be able to get my son's spot back, but at least I'll give him the resources to study even more this year and take the test, but not with my money. I talked to my lawyer and I decided to sue my son's classmate and his parents for everything they did. Because it's such a big and competitive college, my lawyer said there's a huge chance we'll get compensation in the hundreds of thousands as this test is contested by practically millions of people, including from other countries, and losing such a competitive spot increases the compensation. They are not a wealthy family and I know they'll have to sell everything to get this money. But honestly, I don't think I'm wrong and I don't care. They still don't know about any of this. And my son's classmate even sends constant messages saying he was happy he had passed and that he really felt sorry for my son not passing. The news of the lawsuit will arrive soon and I'm looking forward to seeing them losing everything for what they did to my son. You can now check if there's a part 2 by pressing share and more. Part 2, my son's classmate and his parents impersonated us to sabotage my son's spot at his dream college and take his place. So I made them lose everything they had to compensate us. One day, I received a call from my son's classmate's parents saying they had received a court summons and didn't understand the reason. I told them I had nothing to say to them and that we would see each other in court. Upon arriving at the hearing, the three of them were there, scared and bewildered. Until that moment, despite the voice on the recording being that of my son's classmate, their voices were somewhat similar, making it hard to differentiate. The recording quality was quite poor, but there was a noticeable difference. However, as in the legal system one must be certain of everything, they were poised to win the case. Until my lawyer asked the judge for permission to approach and whispered something near him. We didn't understand what was happening until the lawyer took the court document, checked the call's number, and called it. This made the phone in my son's classmate's pocket ring, and he answered without knowing that the lawyer was close to the judge making a hidden call. This was enough to prove that that number did belong to those three. Consequently, the judge ruled in our favor and sentenced them to pay an almost $1 million fine for the inconvenience, along with a few months of community service. Additionally, they were barred from taking exams for 8 years due to the fraud. Initially, I didn't understand why they weren't imprisoned, but nonetheless, the fine would already help me pay for my son's education again. Upon learning of the case, the college summoned me, my son, and his classmate with his parents for an urgent meeting. Upon learning about the situation, they stated that they would revoke the classmate's spot and reassign it to my son, emphasizing that they do not accept such individuals in the college. Consequently, the classmate and his parents were permanently expelled from the college. I left there with a big smile for my son, and they were in tears. I don't care about them at all, mess with my son, and you mess with me. Do you think I did the right thing?